Apparently, the Golden Arches are not in the greatest place right now. McDonald's is apparently suffering. They got a couple reasons that they're in trouble, and they're not growing like they've planned to be doing. Even though if you look at their stock, it's not terrible. Like this year, it's down 2%, but it's not absolutely devastating. As some people have said that McDonald's is starting to turn, and they're basically a sign that the consumer is turning. But from this channel here, they've got 3 reasons why McDonald's is in trouble. So we are going to see what they have to say and why McDonald's is struggling.
When you look at the articles discussing the crisis at McDonald's, you generally find 2 issues being repeatedly blamed: boycotts and the decreasing consumer demand. But
Definitely the 2 issues, or one of them. But McDonald's is being boycotted. Are they? Are they being boycotted? I don't think I've heard anything about that, but I guess that's a big
are
reason
these
they're in
theories
trouble.
actually true? Let's start with the
Find out.
boycotts. Last year, McDonald's hit the headlines when it was revealed that their franchisee in Israel, Omri Padan, was giving free meals to the Israeli military who were conducting operations in Gaza in the days following October the 7th. Now, McDonald's franchise structure is part of what has made it so
kick off a
successful
boycott.
in the first place, allowing independent business owners to leverage the McDonald's brand in exchange for a share of profits. This might have helped them grow into the market-dominating, burger-slinging business they are today, but it also means that huge responsibilities are spread around the world to different franchisees. Franchisees who might, say, weigh in on one of the world's most contentious disputes with some free Big Macs. In response, this April, McDonald's announced that they were taking back control of all 225 restaurants.
That's kind of crazy. Because I guess this is a controversy, right? They take back control to try and stop the bad press, right? They don't care if you're giving away free stuff if they're sticking their money, but you're affecting their brand now. That's actually crazy though to take back control over these restaurants because this person paid to have those, right? If you have to pay a franchise fee to be at McDonald's, and then you basically like, are a small business, you pay the overhead, the inventory, all this stuff. I mean, you get the profit too, but for them to just take over the restaurants, hopefully they like paid them out or something. If they just took it, that's kind of insane.
It's hard to tell exactly how much impact all of this has had, but the chain did acknowledge that sales slumps did seem higher in countries with higher Muslim populations, consistent with the claim that pro-Palestine consumers are dodging the Golden Arches following the controversy. In fact, in Europe, France saw one of the largest declines, with the McDonald's CEO saying France is one of the markets that has a higher Muslim population. And so, when you think about the Middle East, the impact we're seeing in France has been more than maybe in other markets because of that population.
So this is affecting them everywhere, right? This is more than, a problem in just one country or one area. It spreads out to the rest of the countries. I haven't heard too much about this boycott thing. I don't think it's that big of a issue for like their sales and stuff. If I don't think it's been a big story anywhere. Maybe it's a story in other parts of the world, and that's where the problems are. But I guess McDonald's is being boycotted, and they took control of the restaurants causing the problems. That's kind of insane.
People are supposedly also boycotting them because of the price of their food. Right now, many
This is
households
a
are feeling
boycott I could get
significantly
behind.
less flush than they did during the pandemic, when government programs and limited spending opportunities boosted demand for food delivery. Plus, food is just getting much more expensive. Thanks to post-pandemic inflation, the price of the average meal eaten out of home has jumped 30% since 2019, making restaurants and fast food spots significantly more expensive, even outside.
So we all already know this, right? This isn't shocking to anybody that food has gotten drastically more expensive. What I'd want to do, because the big topic right now is like grocery stores, price gouging, corporate greed, when like grocery stores aren't greedy, their profit margins like 1 to 3%. I would be interested to see what the profit margins are for like a McDonald's or fast food places, because they've got to be higher. And the prices that they're showing here, those prices are insane. So McDonald's, Wendy's, these fast food places are getting to such high prices where you're not seeing them, or regular customers aren't seeing them as fast food. They're comparing them to sit down restaurants because that's the pricing they're in. So that's a problem for these guys too. Like, you've raised prices so much, just it's not sustainable for fast food because people are going to compare you to a sit down restaurant, and you're just not going to win that battle. The food's always going to be better from a real restaurant, instead of a fast food place. So when your prices are similar, you know, why would people go there? Either you eat at home or go to a real restaurant and pay the same amount of money for what would probably be better food.
That puts McDonald's in a tricky spot. It's certainly not an expensive premium food outlet, but with the cost of a Big Mac jumping by 27% since 2019, and many other menu items also outpacing inflation.
This I was gonna say this can't like a Big Mac. I'm guessing this is just the sandwich because there's like a story somewhere like a Big Mac meal was like $19 or $18 or something. It was something insane. But this has to be just for the sandwich. Even fries, 134% is insane. $4 for fries. That is crazy. And this last one is crazy too. A 200% gain for a McChicken, which used to be on the dollar menu, which is now the $1.30 menu in 2019 and completely gone. We all know the dollar menu has been extinct for a while now, and it's just the prices are getting insane. This is definitely a reason I could see people just chalk it up. Why go to McDonald's and pay real restaurant prices and not get the same quality you would get from that restaurant? It just doesn't make sense.
McDonald's is taking action to address this with the launch of their new $5 meal in the US. The hope is that this will boost sales, and to be fair, early data does suggest it's driven up footfall in a number of locations. However, it's a little too soon to tell how successful this will be.
So this, he talks about this the $5 meal, right? I read somewhere that they extended that program because this meal was only supposed to be for 1 month to try and spur some people to come back to McDonald's and I guess get them back to the habit of coming there because so many people just stopped going altogether because it's expensive now. But I don't think this was as big a success as they thought. Maybe it increased traffic. I actually think I read somewhere that it didn't. It actually was like barely noticeable. It was like a couple percent, if that it increased stuff. But they also extended it. So this $5 meal was only supposed to be for 1 month. Now it's for longer. And that makes you wonder, they didn't get the results they wanted. What is this plan here? And maybe they need to offer deals because people are simply not going to spend $20 for a meal at McDonald's. That's ludicrous.
Well, Chipotle's Q2 sales were up 18% when compared to the same quarter last year, with sales reaching $3 billion for the quarter. Chipotle's stock price is also up nearly 40% in the last year, better than the S&P 500, which is up 21.5%, and way better than McDonald's, which is down 6%. So why, despite selling more expensive premium products, is Chipotle...
We'll take a guess here real quick. For Chipotle, people, it's more of a, like, upper middle class, more kind of expensive. People know that restaurant. It's not viewed as like fast food like McDonald's. McDonald's is supposed to be cheap in people's minds, and when it's not attractive anymore. Chipotle, though, can be expensive because people think of it as a more upper end kind of place. So they're willing to pay that higher money, the higher margin for the food there because they view it as a more luxurious place compared to McDonald's.
People haven't just entirely stopped spending money in restaurants following inflationary price rises and squeezed wallets. Instead, it seems people are being more selective with where they spend their money. In fact, McDonald's CEO actually alluded to this in the most recent earnings call, not saying that customers weren't spending at all, but were, quote, more discriminating with their spend. As The Economist puts it, people are becoming picky, not panicky. As the cost of living puts pressure on households, they're choosing to just eat at home more often, especially as the price of spots like McDonald's is rising faster than groceries.
All that does make sense. Obviously, McDonald's, price go up too much. Just stop eating there, eat at home. Most people, I don't know if I'd say people are being picky, not panicky. I don't think people are panicking like, oh my God, I can't eat McDonald's. What am I going to do? Like they just say, I'm deciding not to eat it. It's not worth it for the price. I'll eat at home. So I don't think people picky like McDonald's is grody now. They're just kind of, it's not worth the money. And I think Chipotle shows you that. Chipotle, from all this stuff, the sales are up, the stock's doing better than McDonald's and even the S&P and this stuff he talked about. It makes sense that that's the case because people are willing to go to Chipotle or willing to spend their money there, view it as a healthier spot for one, and as a more upper end place compared to McDonald's. It's always been that type of brand. So that doesn't shock me at all. But McDonald's maybe not in the greatest spot. Obviously, I don't think McDonald's is going anywhere, right? They're not going to collapse and go bankrupt tomorrow. It's they're one of the biggest companies in the world. But I think they got to figure this thing out. They got to figure out what are they doing with prices. They got to lower stuff. They've got to bring in value because McDonald's is a fast food place. It is not the upper end of that fast food like Chipotle. Can't charge these insane prices. They got to figure this thing out. Will they be able to? Probably. I don't think that they're going to just roll over and just watch sales decline, and not do anything. They've done it with their value meal, right? Uh, I don't know what else they could do besides just lowering prices. But they got to figure something out, and we'll see if they do and what happens. Hopefully, the prices come down. That's what we could all want. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.